I was almost half black. Did you know that? Did you know this? Have you heard this story, McShane?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. So,
Please continue though. You're committed.
oh,
Hard on THOs, hard nipples, all the time.
unless you can figure out how to stop a fucking volcano, let it go. Where's what's the fucking ice princess's name? Let it go. Let it go.
Frozen.
Yeah.
She could fix it.
Where's Elsa?
You're about to listen to Whiskey Hell Podcast, a show centered on recent news, excellent craft beer, and absolute debauchery. While the guys are getting ready, you can reach them on Twitter at whiskey_hell. You can also go to the whiskeyhellpod.com or email them at whiskeyhellpod@gmail.com. At the end, be sure to drop them a review as a thank you for the content. Looks like they're ready. Enjoy the show, and listener discretion is advised.
Friday, October 27th, 9:02 p.m. It's a late show. It's actually an early show. Got a little bit of a schedule conflict over the weekend. It's kind of Halloween, holiday type time. So we got some stuff going on. So we're decided to go ahead and do it a little bit early for you guys. Fitz, you're starting off the night with My Shot by Lin-Manuel Miranda from the Hamilton. The play Hamilton.
Yeah.
It's very fitting for what everything else is going on. That was a good pull.
Right? I woke up this morning, it was in my head, and when I get those earworms where you just like you can't stop repeating the song in your head, I have to listen to the whole song front to back, or the songs in my head in perpetua. Like I can't, it just doesn't stop. So I listened to it all the way through once, and I'm like, God damn, actually the lyrics in that are historically accurate. They're brilliant. They tell a story. So I listened to it again, and I was like, shit, I missed stuff. Maybe I should listen to it again. And so all day I've been listening to that song, and I was like, I don't know. Should I pull that on McShane tonight? Should I just throw it out there? And you went with it. So thanks, dude, because that actually just made my fucking night. And I just have to tell you, when you open the show with a phrase like, I had a scheduling conflict, dude, you sound so fucking pimp. You sound like you are so important. Like
Really?
You got so much shit going on that I had a scheduling conflict. Like maybe tonight you might be meeting with some, diplomat or something from some foreign, you never know with McShane. You guys don't know. And so that was a pimp way to open. Well done.
Well, I appreciate that, and I definitely do not have any special meetings other than a.
Hey, you don't need to say that. Just let it hang, man.
Okay, all right.
No,
all right.
It's just an understood you. You just let it hang.
All right. Well, let's not leave the beers hanging. What are you drinking?
Once again, I have no idea what I'm drinking. All we know going in is that it is a and I have to just for effect, I want everyone to know that is a brown paper bag that you hear. That's how classy we are here around my house. Is my wife is like, hey, you're gonna have a surprise beer, but I'm gonna put it in a brown fucking paper bag. So you're brown bagging it tonight. So this could be a Mickey's 40. I don't know, because it's in a brown bag. No, it is from Foam Brewers, FOAM, Foam Brewers, which I think is a brilliant name because we all know of the home brewers movement.
Yep.
And these guys are foam brewers, and I've never had a beer by them, so we are literally shooting from the hip here. I have no fucking idea what this is going to be. I will say that it poured dark, and with with little to no head, so I'm guessing it's a porter of some sort, but I don't know. I could be way off.
All right. So
It could be.
foam.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Foam Brewers. They are out of, where are they from? Vermont. It looks like
I
Burlington,
want to say
Vermont.
back east. Yeah, okay, there you go. Back east.
Okay.
Way
So we
back
got
east.
that.
Like one of the original 13 colonies, which is fitting again for the song that we just heard.
Oh, it totally is.
Um
You're absolutely right.
anyway, so I let's see if these guys are if they deserve to be one of the 13 colonies. Let's see.
All right. Let's get after it. Or we'll kick them out, motherfuckers.
Okay. I was wrong. This is neither a stout nor a porter. This is like a almost like a dark Cascadian ale.
Okay. Not like a Czech Pilsner, like a dark lager or something.
It's a dark, yeah. I think it's a dark lager.
Okay. Because those are like huge now. I've seen so many of those the last
Yeah,
couple weeks.
they're kind of kitschy, aren't they? They're filling a niche out there. And I'm tasting some chocolate notes, some toasted malt, zero alcohol at all. So either this thing is low ABV or it's terrifying because I can't tell what the ABV is. It's one of the two. There's like no booze on it at all.
So I'm looking on their site and I'm not seeing.
Yeah, they have a lot of beers there. Built to Spill. God damn, if you guys don't know Built to Spill, the band, check them out. They have some of the greatest like second, third wave punk rock ever recorded on, what do you call it when it was recorded on CD? Plastic? Ever recorded on plastic?
Sure. Actually,
Because it's not vinyl.
It's digital.
Yeah, it's digital, and it was a little after cassettes, although I think I did have a Built to Spill cassette. Anyway, it's not Built to Spill. I just saw that name of, they have a beer called that, and I just had to mention the band. Shout out to Built to Spill. You guys were rad. All right. Well, so what we're going off of here is that it's some sort of a dark Cascadian beer, and either no booze or so much booze that I am going to die tonight. All right, let's see here. Okay, so the name of the beer is Goodbye Darling.
Okay.
Kind of a cool artwork, actually. It is a dark lager, so we nailed that. The artwork is by Time Kills. And that's really 4.8% alcohol. Okay, good. So I'm not going to die. It's low ABV, hardly anything to this thing. But I'll tell you what, really easy drinker and a really, there it is. Yeah, isn't that cool art?
Yeah, it's really, really cool art. Now,
really just unique.
Your missus sent me this text that's actually off of their Facebook page. So
okay.
I didn't read this until after we got to the dark lager part. So
okay. All right.
Tomorrow we introduce a brand new can, our second brewed in memory of punk rock icon Alan Vega.
Oh shit! See, these guys are totally punk rock. So they did name the beer after Built to Spill.
Yep.
Anyway, go ahead.
Did. Goodbye Darling is a 4.8 dark lager possessing a bold flavor profile despite its low ABV. This lager is roasty with notes of coffee and a hint of tobacco, gentle and light on the palate in a crisp finish. With Thanksgiving round the corner, this is the one to bring to the table.
Yeah, I could totally get down on this with a turkey leg. Like this beer in my right hand, a turkey leg in my left hand, and my face just getting all greasy and wet and smeary and ready for the rest of the night. And then I'm washing it down with this beer. That would be tremendous.
Cool. Well, that's a pretty neat way to start things.
Excellent. Wow. Fun stuff. I love this fucking game. What I'm hoping for is that she pulls one out of, left field where I have no idea what I'm tasting. That actually would be a fun night. I like guessing them too, but just one where I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. So, all right. What do you got?
All right, so I think it was last week or the week before. I kicked things off with a cider. Um, it was actually, I think it was a 9%er also.
Yeah.
But it was from a brewery called Bardos. And I don't know if you guys remember that site, but it was kind of cool. They had all the cryptic
Oh yeah.
print, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. There's a
Very
lot going
much,
on in their artwork. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, kind of an
Yep.
fu to the wine world.
Right. Right.
Well, this one is Saint Cabora. Cabora. It's apple and grape wine.
Okay.
So a little bit different than what we would normally do.
Yeah, that's very different. And God, I think I've mentioned on the show before, but I found out sort of later in life I'm highly allergic to grapes. Like,
Oh yeah. We
right,
talked
not
about that.
not like the anaphylactic shock, like, but almost to that point. Like everything gets itchy. Um my skin gets all red and blotchy. Things start swelling up that I don't want to swell up. Like if I just got an instant hard on from it, that'd be great. But no, it's like my
See, it
ankle,
doesn't
my
work like that, right?
no, my ankle will just randomly swell up, and then my ass, I can't sit down on my ass because I have a weird rash on it after I drink grape. Anything, wine, grape juice, even if I have vodka that is made from grapes. So I have to look carefully when I drink vodka. Anyway, so I am going to have to live vicariously through you with this beer because I could never have it. Because it would just be lights out for me for like 3 days.
Well, this is it here, as you can kind of see it. That's how it
Yeah,
looks like
that's
in the sun.
beautiful. Yeah.
Um, I get a lot of apple on the nose. Again, super dry, just like the last one was, where it was very farmhouse like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say it's as pleasant as the last one though, and I think a lot of that's going to be because the probably the wine aspects of it. Just a little bit too dry. A lot of pucker. Um, I still like my ciders to have a little bit of sweet to them, and like the last one did. The last one had a little bit of sweet to it, just to kind of cut the acidity.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
Yeah,
good
and
though.
and you
It's good.
the sweet kind of makes them refreshing, right? I mean, you just like coconut smile, you know.
Right.
And but if they're too tart or if they're too, I mean, because even ciders can get a little bitter sometimes. Then it's like, I mean, I'll get through it, but you know,
I'm not. I
I'm
might
not
not like
loving
it.
it. Yeah, exactly. I'm not loving it.
All right. Well, that's cool. So we may see. We are definitely going to have another Hefe sighting here tonight.
Definitely.
Craig has not been born yet. Craig is still holding on. So
Greg.
we'll see how that goes. Apparently, Hefe is going to have another procedure done. They're gonna kill it with sound waves, break it all up,
Yeah.
remove the stent so that he can move on with his life. So
Which, all pain and discomfort aside, that's really cool they can do that. And Hefe, on some level, I'm going to be honest with you. Um I'm envious that you get to have sound waves shot inside of your body in order to break up rocks that you made. Like, think about that process. In what other time in history could you say that doctors shot sound waves inside my body to break up rocks that I made, you know, that my
with
body made?
with waste from my body. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty profound, man. I'm I'm I am profoundly jealous. Can I bring something up really quick that and I wanna bring it up now because I want this to be editable.
Okay. And
So so
perfect
you always
timing.
know so you always know that that's, I mean, we could be going off road here, and so I want everyone in chat to just, shift into 4-wheel drive. Fitz is driving right now. And it could either mean the ride of your life or complete
or
disaster. And
no.
I apologize for both. Okay. So just stick with me here, okay? So my wife and I had some exactly. Hold on to your butts. My wife and I had some. Well, it's one errand, but it had like several stops to it tonight, and so we were doing that after I got off of a long day of work, and then we decided to grab a quick bite to eat. So we grab a quick bite to eat. We're just got our food served, and this dude walks in, and he is, I shit you not, it is the pimpest of all pimp walks I have ever seen. I mean, just like step slide. And I'm like, my God, dude, this dude has some game. Like he's off the fucking chain. He's got so much game. And he's a white guy. In a fucking sweater vest. I'm like, why are you walking so fucking pimp and you're that white?
Well,
He even had on loafers.
he didn't have like a limp or something, and it just looked really
Hold
cool.
on.
Oh, sorry.
So he comes in the restaurant fully. I see him walking up. He comes through the door. His wife holds the door for him. So I'm already thinking, okay, what's up? Well, as I get a better look at the man, he's clearly had a stroke.
Oh God.
And so, but okay, so here's, I mean, that's my experience. Now here's
What
what
an
we're gonna
awesome
go off road.
way to have a stroke, though. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you. Okay, so here's where we're gonna go off road a little bit. I think at some point in my life, later in life, I would like to have a stroke so I can have a pimp walk. What do you guys think? I mean,
Shit. Well, let's throw it out to our out to our listeners here.
strokey the pimp.
Aaron, Beard of Liberty, L. What do you guys think of?
Because
I
I
think
have tried. I have tried to pimp. I have tried to. I thought maybe studying martial arts would give me some sort of a pimp walk. Total failure. I am still not cool enough to have a pimp walk. But this dude fucking rocked it. I mean that with the hand up, he didn't have a cane, which surprised me. But I don't know. I'm just pimping ain't easy, and that's it. You have to make some sacrifice if you want to be a pimp. And I feel like a stroke is a valid sacrifice. Yeah, I slurred my
surprised
speech.
you didn't go over to him and just go, "Hey, great costume," and then walk away.
I totally should have. Oh, dude, I at first, I mean, we were in tears, laughing so hard because when I finally realized that he had a stroke at some point, it was so not funny. It was just fucking hilarious. It just struck me. So anyway, I had to share that story, that experience. If it doesn't play when you listen to this later, feel free to cut it out. But I just, in the back
You
of
know
my head,
what?
I thought,
I think out of everything that has played on here, that is probably the least of our worries.
you're probably right. Let's fuck it. Let it fly. Here we go. Great comment from L. Yeah.
Yeah, L with I'd love to say you get that smooth stroll, but you'd probably end up with a Carlton jerk.
I'd even take that at this point. I don't have soul. I've tried to dance. I've tried to, I've told you this, that I was almost half black. Did you know that? Did you know this? Have you heard this story, McShane?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. So
please continue though. You're committed.
oh yeah, I am. I'm in knee deep now. My mother was dating a black guy named Jesse, in the early 70s, and they were quite serious, very serious, to the point where he asked her to marry him. She said yes, but let's give it some time because shit's getting real over in Vietnam and I don't know what's going to happen. And like a week later, he got drafted.
Oh.
Yeah. And went to Vietnam and never made it back.
Ouch.
So that's how close I got to being half black. And I don't know if it was my mom telling me that story, but there are two things in my life I've always wanted to have. One is a giant afro. I mean, so big that like I turn and like a minute later it turns. And then the second thing is I just wanted to have the swagger, man. I wanted to be able to just pimp walk or I don't know, just have this or dance. I want to be able to dance. I can't dance. I've tried. I suck.
You know what? I think what you're really saying is we need to do a shout out to Richard Roundtree of
Oh,
Shaft fame.
oh yeah. I mean,
'Cause
pimp,
he passed away this week. He was a pimp,
too, totally.
an
Maybe
OG.
maybe the OG. Yeah, right.
That's beautiful. I'm glad you shared both of those stories.
Are you?
I am. I
I'm
don't
not
really know
sure.
where we go from there,
I'm
but
not
I'm
sure I am.
glad you did.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you did.
Anyway,
Um,
so that's where my mind's at tonight. Um, I'm really, I'm a little maybe a little punch drunk just because of the long days that I've been having.
yeah.
Um, and also, the lack of alcohol in this beer is a little annoying. Um, but otherwise, man, I am really glad to be here. We didn't have our usual sort of intro to the show because I am really happy to be here. I'm really excited for the show. We may or may not have entered World War III today, so we've got that to
So we
talk
got that
about.
going for us. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, we got that going for us. We have some really fun space things to talk about. Some space weather, which I cannot wait. I'm literally just jonesing to talk about what's going on with our sun right now because we've been talking about it. We've been hinting at it, but it's finally happening. So that'll be fun. And then also we have space sex to talk about. We
Yep.
have ghost sex to talk about. And that's not even the news.
Oh
That's
no.
just cool shit we found.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So exciting week.
Yep. It was definitely a banger. So we are going to dive in feet first or head first, one of the two.
Or penis first. Why not?
Aaron used to be able to crip walk. I
You know,
was
that
never able to
doesn't,
do that.
dude, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, have you heard that dude's voice? He has
Oh,
more soul in his voice than I have in my entire body.
I think you're
And that's,
absolutely right. And he's hella talented too. I
well,
mean,
that's what I mean. He's just like, that's, again, I mean, some people get a lot of really good, like all the talent genes, and then some people don't get any. I got none. I mean, I have talent in other things, but nothing like that. Like I have a good memory. Whoa, great. What a talent. And
you you have
for a
no
while,
filter.
I could jump. Yeah. And I have the talent of no filter. Exactly.
All right, let's go ahead and get into our housekeeping. So we had a couple
Yeah.
of polls this week. One was actually the follow up from a comment that you came up with on last show.
Right.
This is about boots on the ground by end of October. You're really close.
Yeah.
You're really close.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And again, I still hope I'm dead wrong, but shit, dude. Temperature. I mean, someone turned up the fucking heat. It's getting real over there. It's getting real. Yeah.
So 36 respondents, 44.4% said yes, they will. I'm sorry, the question was, will the United States be boots on the ground combatant involved in the Israel-Hamas war by the end of October?
Yeah.
44.4% was yes, and 55.6% was no.
And I specifically did not comment on this poll because I didn't want sometimes we only get like 10 respondents. So like literally if I respond, I'm shifting it 10%. So I did not respond on this one. So that's kind of, legit. I mean, a very thin cross section of the population,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
I didn't skew those results at all.
Yeah, I didn't weigh in on this one either. I did on the
Cool.
show, but I didn't
Yeah,
actually
right.
weigh in on this one on the poll itself. So Michael Lambros, not with not with the Chinese naval fleet showing up. I think that was, let's see. Aaron had end of the month. I don't think so. End of the year wouldn't surprise me. Yep. What an odd cast. We all know we will the minute it disrupts businesses.
Oh,
Interesting take.
good point.
That's not bad. Bromigos, certainly fucking hope not. Right there with you.
Yeah, same.
And there is an account I had to mute, so I'm not going to bring up theirs. But yeah, interesting results. 36 respondents though, so not a ton. But with everything that's happened this week, especially with now we've got like 4 naval attack groups over there now, like half our freaking fleet.
Yeah. Well, half the Pacific Fleet for sure. And, the other thing that's concerning is you've got 2,000 Marines over there. And of those 2,000, about 500 of them are sort of tip of the spear guys. Like not special forces, not special operators. You've got that whole division over there. And so I'm not saying, again, I hope I'm wrong, but you don't send those guys over there just to play patty cake or to, play a game of cards. Like those are the guys you send when you want to stir shit up.
So the second question that went out a little bit after that was, due to the current state of the world, will we see World War III? 4 different options. Not this time, in October, during November, December, after the first of the year. So we had not this time at 26.4%, and then during November, December was 36.1%. Then after the first of the year was 33.3%.
Yeah, you've got what, 70, almost 75% of everybody thinking World War III is coming. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
at some point.
I'm still not buying it. I'm still not going with it. I still don't think it's going to happen. So I would definitely be in the not this time camp. I think it's still a lot of saber rattling.
I'm glad to hear that. I mean, because I'm in the other camp, I think it's kind of a foregone conclusion. This is all just preamble to what is inevitable. And the only reason I say that is not because haters gonna hate all that bullshit. It's really because there is no other option to save our economy. I mean, our economy is basically the Walking Dead at this point. We all know it. Everybody up to and including Jerome Powell. Did you hear Jerome Powell's speech today? Or maybe it was yesterday.
I heard his comment. Yeah, go ahead.
No. He actually came out and said, hey, the federal government should probably stop spending the way it's spending if we want to get out of this. Like for a professional money printer to come out and say, hey, maybe you should stop doing that because I can't print any more money. That's a big fucking deal.
Well, that's CYA though. I don't buy that he was doing that other than saying, well, I told him to stop.
No,
I don't buy it at all.
I agree with you. No, I'm that's exactly what I'm saying. It's CYA, so he can look back and say, look, I recommended we slow this thing down. And then they didn't. And so, but even Jerome Powell, I mean, everybody except the president and his staff knows the economy's fucking dead. Unemployment's through the roof. Now, they don't want to count unemployment numbers correctly, but unemployment's through the roof. The housing market is literally the fucking, remember a few weeks ago, maybe it was a couple months ago, when I talked about the Roadrunner and the coyote, and the coyote runs off the cliff and he's like paused in midair and he'll hold up a sign like, help. That's literally the housing market right now. It's just about to crash. I mean, you can go down the list. It's all bad. There's no good news in the economy. And you got Biden's intern tweeting out daily, look at my jobless numbers, they're record, and look at all the jobs we've created. It is the Titanic. It has already hit the glacier. I mean, I'm sorry, the iceberg. Well, no, fuck it. It's hit a glacier. It's run aground and now it's sinking. Um, I don't know what else saves the economy other than a major and maybe the most major world war ever. I mean,
I
that's
I
yeah.
don't think the idea is to save the economy.
Well,
I don't
that's
think that's the idea. I think it's time it's going everything is going to crash. I don't think if the war does happen, it's to get Biden reelected.
well,
I will
there's that
still throw
factor
that
too.
out there, but
Yeah, okay.
I think the idea, and unfortunately, and maybe this is just the mood that I'm in tonight. I don't know. I've been
Sure.
thinking this for a while.
Sure.
The idea is to overload the U.S., destroy the economy, dump as many migrants in, dilute it as much as possible, so that it is not a factor anymore. And that's why
Well,
I don't think world war. I don't even think we get to a world war.
I mean, again, I am not hoping for
Highly
war.
negative,
Did you
but
did 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 you hear the latest rumor? Um, there is consideration from the administration that they are going to offer up military service to all of these migrants, and in exchange for military service, they will become citizens of the United States. So, so here's the conspiracy theory. Get out your tinfoil hats. You let in 3 million migrants, most of them fighting age males.
cartel
You
members,
off, huh?
cartel members.
Yeah, right. Cartel members, or Sudanese gang members,
Mm-hmm.
militia members from Sudan or the Congo,
Yep.
and you say, hey, if you fight in our military, because Lord knows we're out of men to go into our military. Um, those that's gone, and so come in our military, you'll be a citizen. At the same time, you have another fucking madman, ape shit, crazy shooter go off again today or yesterday in Maine. And so you take away our guns, the actual citizens, you take away our guns, and now you have complete and total control because you have I mean, also let's not forget who got kicked out of the military about 3 years ago. Oh, that's right. The guys that are actually going to question authority. The ones that are going to say, I'm not sure the vaccine's for me. They're out. They're not in the military anymore. So the only ones left are the, yes, sir. You want me to shoot my neighbor? I'm in it. And a bunch of migrants that may or may not speak our language. So why would they give a fuck about you or your family? Again,
Well, that
I'm taking my
kind
tinfoil hat off.
that well that no, put it back on for a second.
Okay.
Um, aren't you pretty close to a globalist army then at that point?
Aren't
If,
you? Aren't you? That's exactly right.
you have a really easy time coming in with some blue hats at that point.
Yep. Yep. And I think we're all thinking it. I don't think we really want to say it too loudly because we don't want to give them the idea, but they probably already are doing it. Because to actually admit that this might be happening means that the choices we have as actual American citizens just got really narrowed, right? Um, you don't have any choices left at that point. You either play their fucking game or you stand up and fight. And I mean, Civil War was always like something that we, read about in books, and like it was fought over this noble cause of, slavery needs to be abolished. And I loved that story. I loved it. I mean, finding out more about the Civil War has been painful because it wasn't about that. Really, it was just about money, and that sucks. But I wanted to believe that that's what it was about, and I still stand on that moral ground when I wake up in the morning. But now we're at this turning point of like, is there even a stable moral ground for any of us to stand on anymore? I don't know, because things that I used to fight for and believe in are now being shoved down everybody's throats to the point where it's like, wait a minute, that's a 5-year-old. why are you shoving gay rights down a 5-year-old's throat? Like literally. And I know that sounds terrible, but that's what's happening. And I don't know where I don't know where we went off the rails, but we're definitely off now. And I think we can all agree on that. And so you start throwing out terms, McShane, of like globalist army and the fucking blue hats on US soil. I may never take my conspiracy tinfoil hat off ever again. I mean, I might just wear it around the house.
Well,
I don't know.
and when you try to look at why we're going to war, right? Most of the time it doesn't make any sense. When was the last time that we were threatened, other than our oil interests overseas?
Yeah.
Hasn't been. Most of the time it's some drugs, a poppy field in Afghanistan.
Yep.
We don't, there isn't any call for it other than to boost the industrial military complex, and protect oil. That's really what it comes down to. There aren't any other reasons why. So it wouldn't surprise me if this is the direction that things start going. I'm not subscribing to it just yet, but it's gotta make you wonder, right?
Yeah.
Who's pulling the strings? Who does it interest? It doesn't interest the people. It's going to interest the corporations. It's going to interest the bigwigs that are making money off of it, right?
Yep. Well, and I mean, you see at each turn, really since World War One, governments keep getting smarter and smarter and more sophisticated in the ways that they try and manipulate the public. I mean, even Vietnam. I mean, we now know that was really about the cocaine fields. I mean, it was about cocaine and running drugs into mostly this country, but really all throughout the Asian countries, South Pacific, all of it.
How dare you? That was all about communism.
And so they got more sophisticated there than they were in World War II and even in Korea. And then the next iteration is Desert Storm, and they got a little more sophisticated. And then 9/11 happens, and they got a little more sophisticated. And so each time it's like they're getting better at manipulating us. And now I feel like they've manipulated enough of us, but then there's a lot of us going, wait a minute, we see this as the manipulation it is. And there's nothing we can do about it. They've already got the grip on our nuts, and all they have to do is squeeze. And no offense to the ladies out there, they have hands on your nipples too, and they're gonna twist until you don't like it anymore.
Speaking of nipples, I'm gonna hard right.
Please do. Let's lighten things up.
Did you hear that Kim Kardashian she's actually created a bra that has hard-on THOs, hard nipples, all the time? This has been like a big thing on Twitter today, and I'm just shocked that this was never done before.
I don't know what to say to that, because on the one hand,
well, here, let's let Kim tell us. Here, hold on.
Oh, okay, all right, please.
Oh no, that's never mind. That's Barstool. That's
my God. Her camel toe is impressive. On the one hand, am I aroused by hard nipples? I 100% yes. I am a red-blooded American. I'm getting aroused right now, just seeing her do what she's doing. On the other hand, if we get home, if somehow I'm lucky enough to get this girl to come home with me, and I take the bra off and I find out that those were not aroused nipples, that was just a fucking fake bra. You know what? Here we go. Where's the jock strap that has the constant hard on? And girls are like, oh shit, look at that fucking, he's hung like a goddamn horse. How disappointed, ladies, would you be if we got home? You think I'm pushing 10 inches. We get home, I take off the dummy jock strap, and I'm only pushing 4. That's not okay. I think that's false advertising, and I'm calling bullshit. Fuck you, Kim.
Look at them. They're it's so
do you
unrealistic.
Do you know if I was a woman, and I mean no disrespect to any women out there, I'm saying for me as Fitz, do you know how many jobs and how many promotions I would get with that bra on? I would wear
Oh,
it all the time, everywhere.
absolutely.
I'm getting that fucking promotion.
Why?
I'll
How
wink.
did somebody not come up with this before? Why
I
did
don't
it take
know.
Kim
That's a good.
Kardashian?
That's a great question.
This isn't like okay, maybe I should have thought of it. I don't know, but I would have thought somewhere along the line somebody would have patented this, and there would already be a bra with nipples in it.
Okay, next level. Someone needs to invent a pair of yoga pants with camel toe in it.
So it could be like a catcher's cup. Like you just pop it in there, and it's shaped like a camel toe.
When you want it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
when you
you
want
just
it, when
throw
you
it in
want the
there.
guys to be looking, and then when you don't, you take it out.
You take it out. That's right.
Yeah.
Now this isn't going to do me any good right now. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to have it in there. Did we successfully get away from the darkness?
Yeah. Thank you for pulling me out of that. That was a deep dark tunnel we didn't need to go down.
You're you're very welcome. Hey, you know what? This is fun. Let's go listen to a 911 call from the Obamas.
Oh God.
911, this line's recorded. Where is your emergency?
We have a male drowning in the back of the property right now. We have our rescue swimmers. They're attempting to go out there right now.
What's your phone number that you called in on? What's the best access?
Rescue swimmer and an agent driving down there right now to get on the boat. Someone came running up to our back post saying that a gentleman, it's just a guest of the house, is out there drowning. So right now, our rescue swimmer's going out there.
And you said you guys have boat access, so what do you guys need? Do you need an ambulance, or do you need water rescue as well?
They didn't advise right now. I would say at least an ambulance, and I don't know if what they're doing in the back of the property right now. I know we have our rescue swimmer who's getting the boat right now. I would say at least an ambulance. I don't know what the lead time is.
All right, I'll send the ambulance over, and I'll contact the fire chief and see where he wants to go, the duty chief, and see if he wants to drop the boat in there.
I don't know if you have like a better number for me to call you back if we get him out of the water, and I can give you another situation report. They're not passing anything over the radio right now.
Yeah, I can give you that if you'd like.
Okay. I'm not going to go any farther than that.
Yeah, so let's recap really quick, because this was the ex-Obama chef,
right,
who
Tafari
was
Campbell.
Yeah, thank you. And so he got invited as a guest, which the whoever was on the phone made it very clear. He's just a guest. I like how he said that. It's just a guest. It's no big deal. Just a guest. He was a guest at the Obamas, and he drowned a few months ago. And we joked about it. I'll admit, we joked about it. Like, what the fuck did he know? Because that's kind of, what happens to anybody in the Clinton Obama sphere is they just they find a way to die. But now you hear this tape, and guys, we would love to hear from you on Twitter, however you want to contact us. What do you think about this tape? Does this guy sound like he's concerned, that he's serious, that he even knows what the fuck is going on? Because remember, they said there was a 911 tape, but they weren't going to release it. And we were like, oh, okay, I wonder what's on the tape. Now that they've released it, it's like, they probably shouldn't have released it, because this sounds really fucking sketchy. It's really bad.
It sounds like, first of all, it sounds like this is some dumb security guard that's not like one of the Secret Service. Right. So he seems like he's totally out of it. He doesn't know really what's going on. Hey, I'm just calling 911. Some dude's like in the back. He's like underwater. We're trying to find him.
He's just a guest.
Do you want I don't know. Do we need divers? I have no idea. We're still trying to find him. So an ambulance? Do you want an ambulance? Yeah, just an ambulance.
At least an ambulance. At least
it was that wasn't the. If that's the Secret Service, how the hell are our presidents being protected?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, and the recording goes on. I encourage all of you. I mean, we're not gonna go any further here on the show, but I encourage you to listen to the rest. It's about 5 minutes and 13 seconds. We went a minute 40 in. I encourage you to listen to all of it, just sort of in its entirety, only because it only seems to get more wishy-washy as it goes on. The kid at one point says at one point, yeah, they've got him and they're pulling him out of the water. And then the 911 dispatcher says, is he alive? And then the kid's like, well, they haven't gotten him out of the water yet. And you're like, well, but you just said. So anyway, the whole thing is just, it's bizarre. And it you have to ask, what the fuck happened out there? This answers nothing.
Well, like Beard says, yes, that is a huge intercoastal pond, but the average depth is 4 to 5 feet. It doesn't add up.
Agreed.
This
And he was an avid swimmer.
Yeah, he was an avid swimmer. He was in his I think mid 30s.
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
Good health,
good shape. Yeah, there was no issues that anybody has come up with. But then we get this 911 tape that, to me, it just makes things even worse and even sketchier, like you said.
Yeah. Very weird.
So that's
very weird. And you know what's sad, dude, is that a man died. A man died, and all we can do on this show, and it's not that we don't care, but it's like we don't have anywhere to go with this. It's clearly some foul play was afoot, clearly. And yet we have more questions than answers, so we just have to move on to the next story. But that's a person. That's someone's son, someone's father, someone's brother, an uncle, whatever. He's a real guy, and he's gone. And we have nowhere to go with it because rich fuckholes cover it up. And that's where, you just, those days when you're out hitting the heavy bag and you just can't stop until your knuckles are bloody, it's because of shit like that. Because that guy gets no justice. None.
Well, y'all just need to simmer down because West Maui is reopening to tourists in November.
Did you just say y'all?
Y'all. Yeah, I thought that was an appropriate
from Texas?
y'all.
It's time for y'all. Yeah.
Maui County officials said that most of West Maui will reopen for tourists on November 1st amid the aftermath of the Maui wildfires. Maui County Mayor Richard Bisson made the announcement on Monday, adding that he made the decision after discussing it with his Lahaina advisory team, the Red Cross and partners. We still have no answers. 7,000 people are survivors are still in shelters.
Yeah, they're still sheltered.
We had how many people die?
I don't know. I don't even know what the final count was. They never released a final number. Because remember the press conference where people were raising like, where are the kids? Where are the children? And they wouldn't answer it. So like the estimates, if you include the children, the estimates are way higher. But they don't know because they haven't found any baby bodies.
According to the AP, we only have 115 residents. Sorry, at least 115 residents.
Yeah, and I heard numbers over 500.
Oh yeah. It's kind of interesting that the numbers were walked back though.
It's interesting that none of us can put a finger on what the numbers actually are. You would think in an American country, America is a country, an American state, in a county. I mean, by God, Bet your ass if those 115 to 500 people didn't pay their taxes, they'd fucking know how many people didn't pay their taxes. They'd be on you like a fucking fly on shit. They would know exactly how many of you didn't pay and to the cent how much you didn't pay. But when this fire comes through, it's just really hard to count. We just don't know. We're not sure really how many people were there. Fucking ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's time for some levity.
Okay.
Let's throw it out to Greta.
Oh, Greta. Hello, Greta.
War is always bad, specifically for the planet. If we want to continue fighting battles like environmentally conscious humans, we must make the change to sustainable tanks and weaponry. There are so many new concepts for battery-powered fighter jets that can carry many more missiles, biodegradable missiles, of course. Something literally everybody can do to stop this nonsense is, for example, block the roads to gardens and farms so the plants don't get overrun by these heavy, heavy tanks. Hand grenades, very important. If you use hand grenades, please use vegan grenades. No animal should have to give their life for all this mayhem and chaos. They have a special sticker on them. You really can't miss them in the grenade market or wherever you buy them. Yeah, I cover all of this and more in my newest book, Vegan Wars.
Shit, that's so good. Whoever deep faked the shit out of that needs a goddamn whatever the deep fake awards are. They need like 7 of them.
Yeah,
that was phenomenal.
That was beautiful. That's snicklink.de. So I think it's an outfit out of Denmark or the Netherlands. Yeah. I love this and I hated it.
Yeah, right. Because it was almost believable.
It was almost believable. But and I appreciate that they put satire on the corner of on the bottom corner of it. But there were so many quote unquote influencers on X that were just throwing this around like it was something that was real.
Yeah.
And it wasn't and this is one of the problems with the whole influencer bit. They're not positioning it as a haha, check it, look at this. Like when I post something, I'll just say, something snide, snicker, LOL, whatever, on top of when I know it's just total bullshit. Like even for this one, I think this is the funniest thing I've seen or something like that. Anyway, a lot of these guys it's just for the hits. It's just to get impressions, and it is so fucking frustrating. And if you're not paying attention, somebody might have actually bought on that, and it's just really, like I said, it was incredibly funny.
Yeah,
That,
I thought, and it is, it's equal parts concerning and hilarious that many people actually took it seriously, right, on both sides. Because I mean, I think there was enough people on the right who eviscerated her because what a fucking idiot. There's no such thing as biodegradable missiles. Yeah, man, that's the point. That's why it's funny.
Right.
And then there's
exactly.
so many people on the left that are like, she has a good point.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's like, wait a minute. You all need to be put in a fucking blender and put on puree and just be done with you because you're worthless. You're a worthless piece of skin if you're going to go that far on either side of it. Just stop. It was for comedy. It's funny.
Yep.
Let's move on.
Hey, did you see the word got out this week about climate in the Antarctic?
Oh God. I you know what, dude? I got to the point, I shit you not, I got to the point where I was copy pasting.
Yeah.
Because it was the same story on ABC, NBC, BBC, all the C's. And so I was just like, all right, I'm tired of typing this. I'm just going to copy paste it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the same answer every time. But go ahead, proceed.
Melting in West Antarctica, a region that includes the Doomsday Glacier that threatens the globe with severe sea level rise, could be inevitable to the future due to warming oceans, science say. So the thing that we are always looking for, what are the narratives, right? Where are these coming from? Because if it's just a legit news story, it's not, it comes out and then other areas pick it up, right? And they'll say per so and so, whatever the
per
news,
the AP,
like
per the BBC, yeah,
Nature,
yep.
Scientific American, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
That's not how these come out. So when you look at them, here's NBC's now. The most comprehensive effort to predict how global warming will affect the West Antarctic ice sheet has found there is little humanity can do to stop its ice shelves from melting. Okay, so that's NBC. And I love that you've taken NBC under your wing and you're guiding them into
I'm trying.
appropriate use of journalism. And here's the AP. Even with carbon emissions cut, a key part of Antarctica is doomed to slow collapse, study says. So
and
the news went out.
Yeah.
Everybody run this.
Yep. Clearly. Because it was like the same day this shit came out. On simultaneously, all these came out. And they're quoting a study, I believe, that was done back in 2000. I want to say 2012, might even be earlier than that. And here's the thing, guys. They are 100% correct. There is nothing humanity can do about the melting ice sheets in Western Antarctica.
Nor should it.
No, you know why? Because there's under ice volcanic activity that has been well documented for decades. And that is what's causing the melting. It has nothing to do with humans in the first place. So of course we can't stop it. Unless you can figure out how to stop a fucking volcano. Let it go. Where's what's the fucking ice princess's name? Let it go. Let it go.
Frozen?
Yeah.
She could fix it.
Where's Elsa? Where's Elsa to make the fucking volcano stop? Because that's the only thing that's going to do it. Otherwise, everyone else needs to shut the fuck up. It has nothing to do with your car or the airplane. It's a volcano, and it's under the ice, and that's what volcanoes do. And that's what the Earth does. It's transitory. It's constantly under change. It never stops. Evolution is happening as we speak. You can't argue against that. You can believe in God, but you can't argue against evolution. And you can believe in climate change, but you can't argue against the fact that these are volcanically caused melting glaciers. End of story. But, you can slap whatever label you want on it, I guess, and run with the fucking story, you goddamn idiots.
Vice even had one.
Oh no. Well,
society
now I'm
collapsing
really
this century due to climate.
Yeah. Well, if society collapses this century, which I can't argue with that.
Society's not going to collapse because of climate. It is definitely going to collapse, but it's not going to be because of climate.
Yeah, exactly. It has nothing to do with the climate.
Hey,
if anything, and this actually has been metered out. If anything, we're going to be a giant snowball in 10 years. We're not going to be under 5 feet of water because of all the melting glaciers. It's going to be colder than it's ever fucking been in our knowledge. Our ancestors had this kind of cold, but we have not. And again, I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see.
Hey, Greta lost her role model status.
The
Israeli Education Ministry strips Greta Thunberg of her role model status.
See, and it's stories like this that go kind of like, they kind of just slip in under the radar. and like some people saw it and they're like, huh, that's weird. I wonder why they did that. And then they move on. They never like actually figure out why she lost.
Well, here's why she did.
Yeah. And there you go. And first of all, why did she have the status in the first place?
I don't know. And just for everybody,
Yeah.
I know you guys can't see what we're looking at. We're looking at a Washington Examiner article where she's got Free Palestine. Another person, she's got 4 of her girlfriends up there. Free Palestine, Climate Justice Now. This Jew stands with Palestine, and then Greta has Stand with Gaza. Why does Greta always look like she's photoshopped into pictures? Is she even real?
Because it looks like she was photoshopped into that. Wait. Don't go past the picture because I have another question. And this is maybe for the chat, specifically for Elle, because I believe you're the only female in chat. How come none of these girls have ever washed their hair? What is that? Is it that shampoo is damaging the environment? What is, because I thought it was healthy to wash your hair and then condition it. But none of them, it looks like they all just woke up and then were like, hey, we should color some signs. And they did. And I have no idea what that accent was. Please don't ask me. Hey, we got a
How's
Hefe
it going,
sighting.
Hefe?
Hey, I liked it. I like the
You
whatever
like the
that was.
accent? Yeah, yeah, me too. It just came out. But literally all four of them look like they just woke up and were like, hey, we're going to make some signs and then let's take a picture. And I want to know who the fuckhole is behind the camera that took this picture. It was like, yes, this is perfect. Don't style your hair. Don't even put a comb through it. Don't brush it.
That's some friend zone guy named Simon.
Yeah,
and he's only there to take camera. He's only there for camera work. He probably carries.
He's
their
never
bags
been
and
past
stuff.
second base, even with a girl who doesn't own a brush.
What is climate justice?
Oh, it's you know what it is? It's justice for the increasing polar bear population. They need justice because there's more of them now than there have ever been in modern history. How's the night going, Hefe? Are people's pockets opening like my mouth is?
It's been really open too.
Really?
Oh yeah. I can't wait for you to hear this one.
It's okay. A lot of people bummed out about the game, but other than that, it's kind of a typical
And
Friday.
just for our listeners, what game are you referring to? You talking about the World Series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one stings a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just between you and me and all of our thousands and thousands and thousands of listeners, I mean, I don't think the D-backs are the best team in the World Series. I just don't.
Well,
I understand it's a coin
screw
flip.
you, man.
And hey, you guys know I'm a D-backs fan. I want them to win. I'm just saying, even on paper, they're not. I mean, it's going to take more than just a little bit of heart for them to pull this out.
Yeah.
they had it won. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just
their closer choked. So
yeah.
All right.
There was a game against Minnesota earlier this year that he just got fucking shelled. It was one of his first games, I think, with the Diamondbacks. It looked really bad, but then the rest of the season did pretty good. But not tonight. But hey, it's only game one.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody gets one fuck up, right? I mean, you're allowed that. Hey, we have a question in chat. How's Craig doing?
Craig's chilling. He's chilling.
Okay.
I got some more little update. I don't know if I shared that with you guys, but the removing of the stent and the sound waves to break up the rocks is all the same time.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently the stent is. I'm no doctor, but the best I can tell is that the stent is in there right now, stretching out the urethra.
Right.
And then they'll take it out, and the urethra will stay stretched out, and that's the stent. It actually made the hole smaller right now. So once the stent comes out, then it's going to be extra big, extra wide, because of how wide it made it, and that's when they hit the rocks and with the sound waves, and hopefully everything just kind of flows right out, and and that'll be that.
So I mean, please excuse me if I'm being insensitive. So let's just say, Hefe as a man, we all know we all know that you're well endowed, that you're shooting machine gun bullets, right? I mean, you know how to fire.
Yep, you never miss.
At this point, are you shooting like what, cannonballs? Are you shooting nukes? I mean, with things enlarged, or is it there's not enough pressure, so it just sort of like bleh, like it just kind of it just kind of like throws up and it's done. Like what's?
Are you talking about? No, go ahead and finish.
No, I don't know what I'm talking. I'm asking. I mean, what's? So you've obviously urinated since then.
Yes, and it is not coming out like a fire hose. It's just coming out. One thing is that when I have to pee, I definitely have to pee. That has changed a little bit. It's harder to hold it.
Okay, I was like, what do you mean by that? But yeah, okay, I got you on that.
I was told it's a bad thing to hold it too. To go ahead and find a bathroom.
So are we talking like 2 to 5 times a day, 5 to 8 times a day?
20
plus.
Well,
I mean, what?
Here's the thing too: is Buttercup's got me drinking about a van size water bottle.
Yeah, we saw it. We saw it in chat the other day. Well done.
Yeah.
And I gave you guys a special video for that.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Anyway, so that increases the urine, believe it or not. The more water you drink, the more you pee.
Get out of here.
So, no, it's true. You can look it up. I did. So I'm going probably, I would guess, around a dozen times at least a day.
Can I throw out a word of caution? And this is not just for Hefe. This is for audience at large. This whole push from doctors to just quote unquote drink more water is actually really scary, because what happens if you just drink pure water? It actually leaches out of your body all the minerals and salts and things that you need to process. So also be drinking. I mean, if you can't get pure electrolytes, which is what I drink, which is like basically salts, then at least drink some Gatorade with your water. Because otherwise, if you're just drinking pure water, yes, you're flushing your system, but you're flushing it of all the good stuff too. All the good nutrients, all the good minerals, all the good salts.
Just stick with beer.
Well, or that. Or just drink beer. But either way, just don't drink just water. I know water's good, and we all have been sold this lie that 8 glasses of water a day. Yes, but if it has salts in it too. Because without those, you're literally leaching your bones, your muscles, your cells of all the good shit. So drink some Gatorade too, at least.
I just thought of something also. I got the date today for my next visit, and it's actually on a Saturday. So,
really?
I'm assuming we're going back to Saturdays after tonight.
Yeah.
And so I'm probably going to be MIA again, or
you're going to be completely fucked up on drugs, and we get that Hefe.
Yeah, that'll be fun for like 10 minutes, and then McShane's going to mute me.
Well, I don't know. You never know. I mean, it might work for a really good best of.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I was leading to, and I guess I'm just gonna say it the way I meant it in the first place. This isn't just on my behalf. I think curious minds out there in our listenership want to know. With the stint in, is that something? First of all, how long did the hard-on last?
Yep,
it was brief. Yeah, it was brief. It was
okay. Brief meaning hours or minutes?
No, like minutes. That's the thing is I don't know if I want to find out if, because Elle actually had the thought that they probably got me erect to be able to get the stent in there, because with a flaccid penis, I mean that's got to be
that's floppy,
rough. Yeah,
right? That's like that's trying to put fucking Play-Doh through Play-Doh. Like that's not fun. Okay, so So what you're telling me is I need a kidney stone because it sounds like someone somewhere got you hard. Somehow. Yeah.
I mean, I pictured it being like a hot nurse, but it's
of
probably
course.
It's probably the male doctor. Like I'll take this one.
Dude.
Hey,
yeah.
These days, hot is hot. You know what I mean? Like, whatever your pronouns are, just jerk me off, dude, because it's all good. Okay. So that's there. So since that point, here's the real question I'm trying to get to. Since that point, have you used any fuck water?
No, I don't have any more fuck water. I gotta go buy some. But I have not. So
you've not been hard since that day?
Oh, I've been hard. I just haven't used the fuck water.
Atta man. That's my guy right there. Yeah.
We got to get
this is exactly why people tune into us.
Oh, this is the hard-hitting journalism that people live for.
Aaron wants to know if it was the head nurse working with you that day.
It was the head nurse. I'm guessing it was, because what else would she do?
Or the nurse's head. Either way.
All right. Well, we make sure that you take pictures of Craig when he's born, and you give it to us so we can put him up on the site.
Yeah. I mean, that's my property, right? If I ask for it, they got to give them to me.
It's and it's like actual like real minerals. You know, my grandfather passed some kidney stones, and he kept them in a plastic bag.
Unreal.
That he left behind for my mom and I to find after he passed. I was going through, like, he had some jewelry and some cool lighters that he had made for his business, and then I'm like, what's this? I held up the plastic bag, and he labeled it, like the date, the time that he passed it, and this was back in the, I think, late 80s, so he did it. I don't think he had a head nurse helping. I think he just did it in the bathroom.
He did it himself?
I think so. I think it was male childbirth, basically. Just keep pushing.
I hope the whatever radio waves, wherever they use to break it up, I'm gonna like have them crank it up to 11.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Go Spinal Tap all the way.
Hell yeah!
Fuck yeah, man.
Oh, I don't want to think about trying to pass 7 millimeters through. Nope.
I mean, even 1 millimeter. Like,
yeah.
I mean, anything of sufficient sharpness, like, no thank you, please.
This is a fucking nightmare.
It is a fucking nightmare. That's exactly right. I'd rather get a blowjob from a clown.
Well, there's that.
And I'm telling you, that's on my list of like no thank you, please. That's like in the top 3.
What about like a hot girl clown?
No. Wait, what do you mean? Wait, hold on. What do you mean by hot girl clown? Please.
I mean, like whatever hot celebrity you're into, she dresses up like a clown.
Okay, so Scarlett Johansson, except she has a red rubber nose and face paint on.
Oh, the whole thing. The multicolored suit with the doily whatever around it, and
the
whole thing.
No, McShane, stop looking for that. Stop. Whatever you're doing right now, just stop. No.
The McDonald hair.
I got completely turned off by Harley Quinn.
What?
Yeah, completely turned off. When in Birds of Prey, she has like too much makeup on.
Movie,
she's starting to. It's a terrible movie, but I'm just saying she starts to go towards the clownish, and she's gorgeous.
Dude,
we can all agree she's gorgeous. I want nothing to do with that. I'm out.
If Scarlett Johansson came up to you dressed as a clown, and I've got my phone out ready to video, you're gonna turn her down.
Yeah, I mean, unless she gets in the shower first and washes all that shit off.
No, absolutely not.
Then no, absolutely not.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
All right, guess it's not sloppy seconds for Hefe.
Well, wait a second. I didn't say I'd turn him down. I didn't say I would kick her out. Hold on. You can still have sloppy seconds. I got you.
Beard just chimed in. Yes, Beard. I would definitely need some fuck water to get through that. And like headphones, right? And like a blindfold. And then hopefully I could picture ScarJo not in the clown business.
Nope, you gotta look her in the eyes.
No, well, then I'm out.
Aaron.
I'm out. I'll take the poor two in the corner who's drinking herself silly. I'll take her.
This is a whole side of you I didn't know existed.
I can't get past Aaron's comment. White grease paint is tough to get out of your pubes. Just trust me on this one.
I need to know that story, Aaron.
Wow.
That's great.
Oh, on that note.
Oh, shit.
All right.
Oh, that's why we do the show. This is why we do this show right here.
Oh, see, everything's all better. The darkness, the clouds have gone. It's all downhill from here.
I feel so good.
Hefe, you going back in?
Yeah.
All right, brother.
All right, give Gretchen a pat on the butt for us.
Yep.
Will.
Make some money also, because we could use some.
Yeah, it's going to be an hour and 20, I think, because there's a mucker, so I might not see you guys again.
All right,
Mother mucker. Well, we'll see. Maybe
we'll catch you.
Yeah.
All right. See ya.
All right, late. Fitz, I'm done with that beer. Should we kick it to the second one?
Oh, dude, I literally chugged that thing. I don't know how I chugged it, but I chugged it. I've been done for a while. Thank God. All I can say is thank God for the side bitch beer, because that first one went down way too easy. So yeah, let's shift to beer 2. Let's get into we got some really fun shit to get to in the second half of the show. So if you've made it this far, number 1, good on you.
It's going to be
you get the gold star. Yeah. And number 2, just hold on to your butts. It's going to be great.
All right. So getting into beer 2. Now, I wasn't real enthralled with my first beer. It was good. But now I've got a toppling Goliath Holidotz. HOLIDOTZ. I'm going to go ahead and look this up real quick.
I'm assuming instead of holidays, or I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't assume anything. Hey, real quick, while you're looking that up, I want to say something real quick to all of our listeners. There's a term. Sometimes, like, someone will say, like, you fucking people, and then we all know that opens up to, like, what do you mean by you people?
Right.
So please don't go that direction with what I'm about to say. But I have to say to all of our listeners, this little community of fellow podcasters, just general friends of the show, those of you who are on our Patreon and and you show up every week, you're in the chat. I love you fucking people. I just have to say, I mean, I don't know anywhere else on any other show where you can have the absolute bizarro, absurd, and poignant conversation like we just had about Hefe's unborn child. That was phenomenal all the way around, and you fucking people are the best. And I'll just leave it at that. So what are you doing here, Steve? What are you drinking?
Well, beer 2 is going to be for our folks who are listening in chat.
Amen.
And,
I will drink to that.
And everybody out there who's not listening in chat, you're missing out. I'll just go ahead and leave it at that.
Yep. Amen.
All right. I am drinking Holidotz. Festive, refreshing, and fun. One time per year, we brew our classic Dorothy's Lager with cranberry, apples, and cinnamons for a delicious holiday treat. It's a spiced lager, 4.7%, Now, Toppling Goliath is they really know their stuff.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Yeah, and
Um,
actually, if this was any other brewer, or if it was some lesser known brewer, I'd be like, oh, dude, you
you made a
might,
mistake.
you might have stepped in it. But they do know their shit, and you might be getting like a hot apple cider here, or I mean, it's not hot, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I know exactly. I know where you're going with that. So first of all, the color is exactly what you see on the screen. It's got
Nice.
this deep red, lot of head. I might have poured it a little bit too fast, but I actually like what I'm getting from it as far as aromas go. You know, this like cinnamon powder, not necessarily the stick, not necessarily the like what you get on a cinnamon coated donut. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. I was just gonna say, like on a donut. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting here. And maybe a little bit of apple.
Okay. I mean that looks and sounds delicious to me right now. Amazing.
Wow. Wow. Just gonna keep saying wow.
So so my grandma, she there weren't a lot of things that she cooked well. She was not the world's best cook, and I know my mom listens to this show. Mom, I know you're laughing right now because you had to grow up with that. You had to eat it way more than I did. However, one thing that my grandma fucking nailed every year, every time she made it, was an apple pie, and I am
Yep.
convinced it is because she was drinking just enough that she put way too much cinnamon in there,
Yep. Yep. The
and it
cinnamon's
just somehow,
pivotal.
oh, it's pivotal. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it just threw the apple pie over the top, and it's to this day it's why I'm still obsessed with cinnamon, cinnamon, and cardamom. But anyway, so that's one thing she did well. So when you took that first sip, my mouth started watering because I was like, "Oh, grandma's apple pie." Is it like that?
So here's no, it's even crazier. So you've
Okay.
got the base bitterness of a lager, right? So you imagine any other kind of lager, I guess. So whether it's a Sam Adams or a Pabst or whatever you want to go, I mean,
Okay.
whatever you want to go and imagine. Now go ahead and take some cranberry in there, so it makes you a little bit of pucker,
A little tired. Yep.
just a little
Yep.
bit. Then you're going to throw in a little bit of apple on top of it, and all of a sudden you start, wow, that's now we're getting kind of fruity. It's kind of crazy, and then you've got this dirty cinnamon. Um, this is a really unique beer, and it smells wonderful. It tastes really good. Like I would make this my winter beer because it's not a winter warmer, right? I'm not a big winter warmer guy,
Okay.
but it's quenching. This is like an Arizona winter warmer, right? Because you want
I was
something that's
just
gonna be
gonna,
quenching.
dude.
That's what
That's
this is.
that's exactly where I was gonna go with that because I was like, you guys down there, you don't really need a winter warmer.
No,
There's nothing cold about your winter. I mean, it gets
no,
chilly. Um,
this is good. This is really good,
that's awesome.
and it's
That's
like
awesome,
iced
dude.
tea quenching, right? Or
Oh
lemonade
shit.
quenching.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's what I get from it. All right, what do you got over there?
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, it's Halloween weekend. How could I not do another pumpkin beer, right? I mean, I had to.
No, of
It's
course.
obligatory, right?
That's the time of year.
Yeah, it's the time of year, and it's specifically this weekend. Shout out to Tabby from the Gray's Tap Room. You know, she and I, if we share anything, it is a love for pumpkin beers, and I know she doesn't get into all the pumpkin ales like I do, but she appreciates them. So shout out to Tabby. But this one is so you're gonna love this because guess who the brewer is? Grains of Wrath.
Oh,
All
okay. All
right.
right. Yep.
So again, another one of those brewers who's top notch. They don't make a bad beer. or at least I've not found it yet. And I've tried a lot of their beers. McShane's had some of their beers. They just they know what they're doing. And on top of it, they have fucking rad artwork. I just, I don't know why that's a thing for me, but it just is. It's an extra.
It goes back to D&D books, right? I mean,
Yeah,
when you're going through D&D books, you're going to go for the coolest looking cover first.
Yeah,
and
that's
hopefully you like the story.
Exactly what it is. Yeah. So anyway, this is Graveyard Smash from Grains of Wrath, spiced autumn ale. Now listen to this, everybody. I'm gonna move in close here because this one hit me right in the feels. Spiced autumn ale, brewed with pumpkin, cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and clove. I mean, what else do you need? That hits all the food groups right there.
That's a pumpkin
all
pie.
In a can, right? I mean, that's all your nutritional needs in one can. So, big time pumpkin ale. It's only I think a 7%. So it's nothing huge.
7.
Yep. But respectable. And sometimes, well, I will say specifically, particularly with pumpkin ales, I don't want them over the top boozy. I want the flavor more than I want to just get fucked up. If I want to get fucked up, I'll go find a triple IPA or something, or a quad, and
like a Warlock or something along those lines.
Yeah, right,
yeah.
right.
Southern Tier.
Southern Tier. Yep, they make the Warlock, and that's like a 9.5, 10%er, and sure, that's not what I want all the time. And so this one, so let's see what we got here. I'm really hoping they went strong on the clove because I love clove this time of year. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Okay. All right. I have two ways I can go with this. I'm going to go with the PG version first, okay? PG version is those bullshit potpourri things where they're like, hey, you just put it in some boiling water and you let it steep, right, and it makes your whole house smell like fall.
Yeah, put it in your shower. The humidity works.
Yeah. So that's this in a beer. Okay. The rated R. I don't even know what that noise was. The rated R moving into X version of this is fill in the blank, your favorite porn star, and she or he, depending on who you are, shows up smelling like pumpkin spice. And whether or not you like pumpkin spice or not, there's something about it that arouses you.
She's attached to it.
Yeah. And you can't get enough of it. You sniff it, you lick it, you stick things in it, you suck it, whatever you need to do. It's all good and it's all fun. That's what this beer is, right here in a fucking cup for my pleasure. You may not hear from me the rest of the evening. I may just be enjoying this beer.
It was kind of a Ryan Reynolds moment there for you.
Thanks.
I was like,
wow, that's a compliment right there.
And then you kind of went off in a direction that nobody saw coming.
I'm just being honest. I did have a comment, and I just want to address it. It wasn't the person who made the comment wasn't sad, but they were just asking innocently, how come your beer reviews aren't as sexual as they used to be? And I can't, I don't know. I can't answer that. All I can tell you is that when you get my comment on a beer, it's literally just the in the moment, this is what I'm feeling, and these are the words that come out of my mouth to describe what I'm experiencing. Good, bad, ugly, whatever.
It is authentic.
Yeah, it's totally no, it totally is. And I'm not that's not some shtick. That's not it's just I don't know how to do it any other way. I don't plan this shit out. I don't write anything down. I'm just here's the beer. Let's see what comes out of my mouth. And sometimes it's sexual, sometimes it's hilarious, sometimes it's just brutally honest. And sometimes it's just okay, next beer. And so I guess I could say that I'll try and be more sexual in the future, but honestly, if I ain't feeling it, you're not going to get it. So
You can't
when those
talk about face fucking unless you're actually face fucking your beer.
yeah,
So
exactly.
you got to be, not every beer, you're not going to be able to take every beer deep. You're not going to be able to want to, just immerse yourself in everything sexually. It's not the way it works.
No. So anyway, I appreciate the question. I also appreciate the question came out of a place of like, hey, I really missed this. Like that was really awesome. Thank you so much for the compliment. And it is awesome when it happens because I'm truly in the moment and I'm not going to lie to you more often than not, I am getting erect from my beer. But lately that just hasn't happened. And
so what if you took like a Viagra or like a Blue Chew? That's like all over online, and then
I
you had the
mean,
beer. Would that make you a little bit more
I think that would
randy
be
for
a
your beer?
really, I think that would be a really important scientific experiment
Okay.
to do that I feel like the world deserves. Um, and you could be the test group. Like maybe we have the same beer and one of us takes Viagra and the other one takes the placebo. And then we both have the same beer and we see what the effect is.
That works.
That would be it.
We could totally do that. We'll
This
get
is
Hefe to do it. And his enlarged urethra.
I get to see him at work and he's the one that got the Viagra. Oh, gray sweatpants, Hefe. Gray sweatpants. Anyway, so that's my short answer, or maybe my long answer. I don't know. But I haven't felt like penetrating any of my beers lately. So, however, I will say this one's it's really, really good. And I would like to penetrate it. I would like it to be my favorite porn star. Which, what's weird? That kind of fluctuates like day by day, week by week. Like
What's
there's
weird?
just a bunch of there's just a bunch of good ones out there. Like why do I have to choose? They're all good. It's all amazing.
Yeah.
Let's just have fun.
Click it and go.
Exactly. Anyway, what's the next story here? Of course, you're going glory holes. Okay, let's do it.
Hey, this is pivotal stuff, and this is really important to Woke Nation. Students vote on whether to allow glory holes for anonymous sex in public toilets at German university. A heated discussion arose at the University of Augsburg student convention. Students have voted on whether to allow glory holes for anonymous sex in public toilets at a German university. A heated discussion arose as the University of Augsburg student convention met at 6 p.m. yesterday to discuss whether to allow the holes that are used for sexual purposes in the toilets at the lecture hall. My question to you, how more awesome would Scottsdale Community College have been if we had glory holes
God.
to absolutely abuse? And
Dude, I would still be there. I'd be on my 15th degree. My 15th fucking associate's degree in, I mean, you name it. I don't care. Yeah, you know what? This year, I'm going to be a fucking communications major. Just blow me again, please.
Well, you remember Jerkowitz, right?
Do I remember him?
So our setter for our volleyball team back in the day, he would disappear while we were practicing, and he would go into the men's room and take care of himself, and then he would come back out on the court like 15 or 20 minutes later. I think this would have been a perfect thing for us back in the day.
Agreed. And it would have been a perfect thing for him. Although I don't even know, I don't think half the guys that were playing on our team were actually students at that school. I think they just showed up for practice and we were like, okay, you're on the team. And then we went out and we fucking played actual legit college teams and beat the fuck out of them. And it was my favorite time ever playing volleyball. But he would be the guy, like we'd go take a break, we'd come back and like everyone's trying to regroup. We're gonna run some plays. All right. So I need you to do this. I need you to do that. You're gonna go back. You're gonna run the two behind me. I'm gonna do the solid lob out to the, and so everybody's got their duties. Would say something like this. Okay, I'm gonna do my best impression of him. You're like, I've still got a boner from when I just rubbed one out. and then we would be expected to run a play. Right? And it's like you can't even fucking concentrate with him on the court. And yet he was actually pretty goddamn talented. Like he actually set a really nice ball. I loved hitting twos off of him.
So to speak.
Anyway, I do wonder what he's doing with his life right now. Like, God forbid, does he have kids?
Well, he's got 95 venereal diseases. That's all I remember from him. So
I think he's one of these guys that has like 6 kids from 7 different women. Like he doesn't have any idea who's a mom of who. He's just like, all right, I'm going to make money so I can pay all of you off. And I could be totally wrong.
I'm sure he's a good God-fearing man now.
Yeah. Good guy.
3 glory holes are to be built in the lecture hall center opposite the entrance where the information boards are currently located. So everybody will know exactly where the glory holes are. So if you go into this room, you're going to be using these glory holes. But the suggestion sparked outcry with the ring of Christian Democratic students arguing in an open letter to the university president that the establishment of glory holes at a university is not only inappropriate, but is also highly scandalous and unacceptable.
You know what? That's anti-glory hole, and I'm going to organize a march.
It's shaming. It's shameful.
Tomorrow.
It's kink
yeah,
shaming.
It's glory hole shit. Yeah, exactly.
A glory hole would contribute to diversification on campus, as kink could also be experienced or lived at the university. That was put on their application. The lights should be dimmable and possible knee padding should be installed. Condoms, lick wipes, lubricants, and disinfectants and wipes should also be provided free of charge in the glory holes. Trash cans should also be needed.
Wait, okay. I need to know. I mean, I understand all of those terms sans one. What are lick wipes?
I can only assume it's somebody who you would take it and then you'd wipe your tongue down, much like some people like scrub their tongues when they're brushing their teeth. That would be part of it, I'm assuming.
So like a toothbrush or like a wet wipe?
I don't know. I can probably Google it here real quick.
Would you do that?
Wipes.
You know, for the sake of our listeners, can we Google lick wipes? I didn't know that this was a term.
Wow, it's like a thing.
Oh, dude, it's there.
Lick light duty wipes, dry clean wipes for cleaning. No, that's optical. We've got industrial wipes.
See, they're just making shit up just so they can get a fucking permit. Because that's what they want. They want the admin to be like, wow, they're legit. They have like lick wipes and stuff. So everybody's clean. Basically, what you're saying is a lick wipe is everybody squirts a bunch of hand sanitizer in their mouth, swishes it around, spits it out, and then we can all just do what we want to each other.
Okay, so Beard in chat, dental dams are also called latex wipes, intimate wipes, or lick wipes. These are very thin latex towels, approximately 15 by 25 centimeters, which can protect you against sexually transmitted diseases when licking, stimulating, or penetrating the vagina or anus with the tongue. That is phenomenal. Thank you.
That's why we have the chat, and that's why you people are the fucking best. I mean, right there. That's.
I do the Google.
Yeah,
the Google good. Yes, you do.
You do the Google very good. Keep doing the Google.
I have 2 kids that are ready to go to college, and this is just, I don't know what you do with this. This seems like it seems like it's gone too far. But then again, it's college, so you're like, you know what? People.
Hey,
kids
Dad.
do crazy shit.
Hey, what? Dad. You don't do anything with this. You do nothing with this.
you
leave it the fuck alone and you walk away. You go have another beer. That's what you do with that.
That reminds me of another story I need to tell you guys sometime. Thank you, Aaron. God damn, man.
I totally do not, and I do want to know.
Aaron, I think you need to start a new show and change your name and then just start fucking telling stories.
Yep. Alias time. It's
and just fucking go for it.
You know what? How about you just call it the Fuckwater Show? You have an instant sponsor.
Sponsored by.
Yep. And you just run with it. Just all of your exploits, leave it out there on the fucking table. Do it. I dare you.
Space boners. Let's go to space boners. How astronauts could get it on if they really wanted to. Why is this even? Why wouldn't they? Am I just the big pervert in the room that's like, wow, I need to have sex in space?
No. I think actually, because who are astronauts? They are, among other things,
they're elite they're specimens of
they are
ability
elite,
and intelligence,
knowledge, all of it. So they are all pretty people. I mean, they're not. You're not going to have a 380-pound astronaut. It just wouldn't happen. So you've got these beautiful, sexual, desirable people. They're going a long ways away from home. I mean, talk about the ultimate excuse. Like, babe, it wasn't cheating. I was in space. Like, we were on a break, right?
Come on.
I mean,
you would have done it.
I was in orbit. I didn't know if I was going to live. But here's the thing for me. Okay, because if we're going to go with Newtonian physics, which I don't want to get into the weeds here. We don't need to go into quantum physics because I know that once you get down to the quantum level, Newtonian physics doesn't apply anymore. But we're not at the quantum level. We're at the sexual level. We're talking about two pieces of matter that are going to want to engage with one another in a weightless environment. And so let's just set up a scenario that there is a person A with an erection, and I want to get to the space Viagra term that was coined here, but we're not there yet. So you have person A who has a space hard-on, right? And then you have person B, and it doesn't have to be male, female. I mean, genders are fluid here. I get it. But person A wants to have sex with person B's mouth. Well, as soon as the thrust is made in a weightless environment, I mean, those two reactions are going to push each other away, right? They're gonna now be floating away from one another, which is kind of the opposite of what you want in a sexual encounter, right? You want to still be there after the first thrust. In fact, you want to still be there after the 15th thrust. So then you start thinking about all of these ways to conquer that problem. And this article, by the way, can I just say this article only gets better the deeper you get into it.
Oh, they put in, this is Mashable.com, by the way.
Yeah.
And again, if this wasn't news, we would not talk about it. Remember that.
They got into, I mean, maybe I'm jumping the gun here. I am
go wherever you want to go with it, because I was surprised. I'm sitting here reading this article again today. I'm like, holy shit! They put in serious effort in here.
Yes, yeah. So this German astronaut Ulrich Walter, like how more German can you get? He was quoted in an interview that said that humans could look to the animal kingdom for inspiration. For example, okay, this might be the quote of the night. I don't know. But for example, sometimes a third dolphin will help hold two other dolphins together in the ocean to facilitate mating. So there's a lot to unpack there. Dolphins are doing threesomes, but we're talking about space sex, and the dolphin threesome might help the humans. Okay, anyway, so it goes on to say, perhaps humans' hands, arms, and legs, instead of flippers, make a threesome less of a necessity, but props to Walter for thinking outside the monoamorous box. I mean, I would have never gone to dolphin sex when thinking about space sex, but now that's all I can think about. I want to see two dolphins going at it like fucking the Pisces fish, just like constantly swimming around each other, trying to chomp on each other's genitals. This thing just goes deep. And then you start getting into Velcro, different types of suits that stick to the walls.
And they're also talking about using a specific CPR bench.
Yes.
Like, this isn't an article about just like, hey, you know what? Should we be doing this? Or, no, let's fucking figure this shit out. Okay, let's seriously get in there. Do we put them into the little, cocoon-like bags that they sleep in and like make it big enough for two people to get it on?
Right.
How do we Velcro it?
It's a sex sock.
It's a sex sock.
Yeah.
Like, they did some serious work. This might be the best reporting that we've had this week.
No, well, it's certainly the deepest. I do like that Beard, great quote. Someone is going to have to be strapped down. All space sex is to some degree of bondage. That's exactly right. It has to be. Someone's getting tied up, and probably the other person's going to be tied to that person with some sort of spandex or elastic thing so you can bounce, right?
Yeah.
And I just love, at this point in the article here, they started even getting into the experiments they did on the parabolic flights. National Space Society, for those of you who don't know, they have their special planes that they go up. And if any of you took geometry, calculus, even some algebra, a parabola kind of just goes up and then it goes down. And in that moment, that few moments of where it's starting to come down, you're weightless. And so they sent people up there to fuck in this minute or so of weightlessness that you have. Let's try different stuff. I want that job, A. Like, how did you get that
Where
job?
do I apply?
Yeah. And B, like, what are the results of that? Like, who got off? Who had the most fun? We need to know these answers.
Astronaut Bob Hines describes what happens to bodily fluids in microgravity in a YouTube video for the Museum of Science in Boston last year. On Earth, sweat drips down one's face and clothes wick away a lot of the moisture. But in space, surface tension keeps that liquid close. Furthermore, the lack of convection in space means heat surrounds people like an aura, causing astronauts to perspire more than usual. Those things present problems.
Yeah, that's actually, I love that they are approaching sex from a completely clinical.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, this isn't about the feelings. Do you love the person? No. It's about heat convection and about how much sweat sticks to your body. And they're quantifying it. They quantify it.
I want a space erection, though.
Yeah, okay. So can we touch on that? Because apparently, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I had an erection so intense it was painful, Mullane said in his book, Riding Rockets. I could have drilled through kryptonite.
Nope, I take it back. That's the quote of the night right there. He said actually the erection was painful. It was so hard. And Hefe, all apologies, dude, because your present condition, all things considered, not cool. Like you can't go into space with a catheter. We know that now because the erection without a catheter hurts. Imagine what that would feel like with the catheter in. So that's a no-go. But yeah, it actually, so there it is. I had an erection so intense it was painful. I could have drilled through kryptonite. Yeah, that's part of me. I kind of want to know, like, what do you mean? I don't know that I've ever been that hard. Like, I want to know that, but also part of me is like, okay, if that's what's happening up there, what are the physiological effects to the females? Like, are they getting engorged other places that are painful, or do they get engorged to more pleasure? Do they get less pleasure? I mean, like, where are the ladies at? Like, what's going on there?
I need NASA to stop being prude and fucking figure this shit out.
Yeah, same.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I think everything would get easier and way the fuck more interesting. You're floating around. You don't have to worry about anybody's weight. You're just doing whatever. You can grab on and go. 69ing? Yeah. Are you kidding me? That's suddenly like, okay. You're not suffocating, right? It doesn't matter where you are. You got to watch it. You might like hit some wires and shit. That would be the problem. You're floating around up there. Everybody's seen the space station. How absolutely what a fucking mess that place is.
Yeah. Yeah, there's shit floating around. Yeah.
Well, and you got wires hanging out. You got fucking meters and all kinds of shit that's just like all over the place. So you're going at it. You're just, somebody's head is hitting the wall and all of a sudden you're tangled up in some cord and the whole fucking space station starts spiraling off into the sun. I mean, that could happen. So if you ejaculate, will that shoot you like farther out? Is that like a projection?
That's what I'm saying. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. That's Newtonian physics 101. And so after the first thrust, if you don't, as Beard says, if you don't have some sort of bondage thing going on there.
I'm past the thrusting though. I'm like if I came, is that going to
I know.
Am I going to Iron Man across the room or across like the universe at that point and just start spiraling out into
and not to mention, as Beard is pointing out, I mean, it's almost like 0 degrees Kelvin out there. So everything that comes out of your body is basically going to instantly freeze. Right? So do you just have like cum comets flying around? just frozen blocks of semen. I like cum comets. I think that might need to be the name of the show. I don't know.
Cum comets might be
space hail.
Write it down. God damn it.
Space hail. Oh, hey, what is wrong with you people? Oh shit. Well, I think
there's one.
Hey,
the show art just got fantastic. Okay, that's what I'm
that
looking
writes
forward
itself.
to.
Yeah, that writes itself.
Holy
I think we've done a lot of good here
shit.
because
I
mean,
think so too.
Regardless of World War III or whatever, I think it's safe to say someone somewhere is going to be having sex up in space, and it's going to be great.
Well, and you're going to have to keep the species going.
Off. Yeah,
you're
right.
Gonna have to keep the species going. So
yeah. Imagine a baby, like from conception to birth, and it was all done in a weightless environment, in a zero gravity environment. I wonder if that baby would come out, like how that baby would come out. If it would come out okay, or if there would be some deformities or changes. Maybe some of them good, maybe some of them like, wow, that kid can never walk again because his bones are too brittle or something. Like that would be interesting.
Well, the bone density is going to be all kinds of jacked up.
Yeah.
Right? So I mean, we know that, but you've got to figure, I mean, musculature system, whatever.
Yep.
That isn't going to form correctly either because you're not putting the same kind of stress like you would in a gravity environment.
It
I mean,
always
kid's
fascinated
never
me.
gonna he's never gonna learn to walk necessarily, really.
Well, it might. I mean, bodies are adaptable. If it got back to a gravity environment, that's what always fascinated by me about the He-Man series was that the whole reason that everybody was so like big and buff, or at least the guys, because the women were like natural, like real women, but the guys were all huge, and they claimed it was because their planet was super high gravity. What was it, like 2.5 times Earth gravity? So they
I
had
didn't
to have
realize
these
that. Yeah.
giant. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. So they had to have these giant muscles even just walk. And so everybody was a fucking He-Man, Man at Arms, all of them. They all had huge muscles. But the women, like Shira, like she was just kind of a normal chick that had superpowers. Anyway, so the opposite would be true in a zero gravity environment. It would just be very interesting. Anyway, we don't have to linger on that, but yeah, something maybe for a future show. Watch out for the cum comments. Watch out.
How's that beer going?
Oh, it's great. It's only, I mean, it's warming up the way that you would want a beer to warm up, especially one like this where they say there are spices, but you don't get them all when it's really cold. As it's warming up, I'm getting the cinnamon, I'm getting the ginger. For sure the nutmeg is coming on stronger now. And then of course the cloves are there. So no, it's fuck. It's only getting better.
We have a lot that we did not get to tonight. Is there anything on the dock that you desperately want to go ahead and hit?
Um yes, there is. Okay, why is my um the space weather. I wanted to get to the space weather bit.
Oh yeah.
It's not a bit. It's just a quick story. And I promise I won't get too technical or anything. Long and short of it. Uh so we've talked briefly about the Earth's magnetic poles flipping, and that's going to be basically a really bad day for all of humanity. I mean, that's it's not a species extinction event, but it's a civilization ender for sure. I mean, very few people survive that, and it's happened. I mean, it happens every 12,000 years. It's documented. It's not a secret. The government wants you to think it's never happened before, but it happens every 12,000 years, and we're due. But that's not what's happening right now. What's happening right now is on the sun, its magnetic poles are flipping, and that happens every 11 and a half years or so.
Right.
And it's happening right now. And what's cool about it is we've kind of been documenting it the last 50 years or so, 55 years if we're doing 11s. And so sometimes it's like, 11 years and 2 months, and sometimes it's 11 years and 6 months, and sometimes it's 10 years and 8 months. We never really know exactly. And so we weren't sure when it was going to happen, but it's happening right now, folks. And I don't want to read too much into this, but we've got a whole flip of the sun, and which has been evidenced by, and you can go back and look up Space Weather News on Twitter or X. It's at Sun Weatherman, and Ben Davidson goes through everything. But there's this huge trans-equatorial coronal hole that's been coming across. And a few days ago, he was like, this might be the first signs of the sun's poles flipping, but we're not sure. Well, now we're sure. And that hole is turning in towards us. And what that hole is showing is basically a giant rip in the corona, which is showing the magnetic poles flipping. Generally, this doesn't mean a whole lot for our planet and our weather. What can be affected is geomagnetic poles, so earthquakes. Earthquake activity can go up during this time, and more concerning, earthquake magnitude can go up during this time. So that's something to watch over the coming days.
What's been happening for like the last 2 weeks and tonight even?
Yeah, so we've had some earthquakes on Mount St. Helens. We've had the earthquakes of course, the ones that happened in Afghanistan last week that were just devastating. Generally, earthquake activity has been on a major uptick in the last 2 weeks. Mount St. Helens is kind of concerning. And there's the, I forget what it's called, the volcano in Italy that has also had a major uptick in the past 2 weeks. So,
yeah.
Anyway,
but there is a quake in, I think, California.
California just had one today. Yeah, that's right. I don't think it was, I mean, obviously it wasn't devastating or anything, but it was, I think it was over a 6, which is, yeah, it was in Atina. Yeah, that's right. So, anyway, very fascinating stuff. It's all physics. It's not, it's not the gods, Zeus isn't throwing a lightning bolt. But this is just kind of nature at play, and it's really fascinating that we get to watch it real time. Which, by the way, if you follow Ben Davidson on his YouTube channel, spaceweathernews.com is his website. Any of those things, he has live satellite feeds. We have satellites constantly watching the sun, and you can watch up to 3 days worth of footage on this in different filters on the camera, so you can actually look at the sun and see the details, and it's just fascinating stuff. So more to follow on this, but I geeked out on it. I figured we needed to mention it on the show tonight. It's worth watching and worth paying attention to. So anyway, and if any of you have concerns, questions, just like curiosities, shoot them our way. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I definitely know where to find the answers pretty quickly. So if there's something you're wondering about the sun or sun cycles or how the sun affects weather or earthquakes or quote unquote climate change, let me know. Cause I mean, I know some shit, and if I don't know it, I'll fucking find out. Cause it's worth knowing. It's better than following ABC, NBC, BBC, all the bullshit.
All right. Which beer are you taking to bed, sir?
Damn, I honorable mention to the foam brewers and their offering tonight. Really easy drinker. It's one of those you could buy a 6-pack and be like, yeah, I'm gonna have this beer for a while, and then you drink it all in one night because it's a 4.8%er. So you drink it all in one night, you're like, damn, I wish I had more of that, and then you go out and buy more, and then you can buy more and buy more. Great beer, very tasty, but definitely not who I'm taking to bed. That's kind of your one night stand that you definitely know it's a one night stand. It's not going anywhere. It's just to kind of get you off, and then I need you to get out because my wife's going to be home soon. This pumpkin beer, the Graveyard Smash, she's a keeper. She's the one that you take home because you really want to marry her in the future. So you're going to do everything you can to impress her. You're going to sex her up. You're going to play the sexy music. You're going to make her breakfast in the morning.
You're going to Barry White this thing?
You're going to Barry White the shit out of it. You're going to be nice to her kids. You're going to be sweet to her parents. I mean, the whole deal. Right? She gets all of it. Because she brought pumpkin, cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, clove. She brought all of the aromatics, all of the senses. And so what can you bring to the table? Because she's already brought it all. So you're doing what you can as a man. And that's what this beer is tonight. This is me bringing what I can as a man.
I love it.
I love you. I love you, Graveyard Smash. I love you. And I'm not afraid to say it. I love you. What about you, McShane? What are you taking to bed?
Toppling Goliath.
Yeah.
The Holodots, absolutely. Just very. It got less refreshing as it warmed up. So I mean, I would buy several of them, keep them on hand, but I'd have one a night. I'm not going to drink like a ton of them.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't
That's good to know.
as it wasn't
Yeah.
as refreshing as it warmed up, but it was really because of the cranberry in it. It wasn't because of the apple or because of the cinnamon or any of that kind of stuff. So just a fantastic beer. It really was great. Not I was not nearly in love with the cider as I was with the last one that I had. Just the wine didn't set right with me. So definitely taking the Holodots from Toppling Goliath.
I just a final thought. If you were gonna fuck a pumpkin, what would you use to make the initial hole?
Well, if I don't have astronaut penis or hard on, and the ability
Space?
to,
You mean space Viagra?
space Viagra. If I don't have that going on,
Right.
I'm probably gonna use a knife or something to go ahead and cut it out. I mean, I don't know
A
why
knife.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I don't have a
Okay.
drill bit that big.
I mean, I'm asking for a friend because we have a friend
Right.
that's like shooting cannonballs right now. So I'm thinking you might want to use a cannon.
So if Hefe is going to mount a pumpkin
If he was gonna
for Halloween,
fuck a pumpkin, right? I mean, and it's for science, of course. But I mean, there's a bunch of slimy, fun stuff in there, and I think if like you stuck it in the
No.
microwave for a little bit, it could be a lot of fun.
if you put a pumpkin in the microwave, the whole thing is going to start getting like weakened and like moldy, or like it's going to be pliable.
Well, but you don't need it. You don't need it that long, right? I mean, just a few minutes.
Okay, between now and next week, you need to put a pumpkin in the microwave and see if you still want to mount it, or if Hefe wants to mount it. Sorry.
No, I mean, I'm game. You know what? Maybe we should all three do it and come back with what our findings were. Because I mean, what good is this show if we're not going to actually do the shit we talk about?
That's true. We do need to pony up. All right. Well, I guess we've got our marching orders.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about this offline.
Right.
We will
We'll
make
put it-
something.
Let's put a pin in it. Let's put a pin in it. Put a pin in it.
Pin in.
If you want to follow us, please do at whiskey_hell. Yes, we're like this pretty much all the time. whiskeyhellpod.com is the website. You guys can download us everywhere. If you're listening to us now, you probably are downloading us already, but we appreciate you doing so. I'm Steve McShane.
I'm Fitz, and we love all of you fucking people.
We'll talk to you soon.